that's why the importance of this timing. But if it's not something you're ready to move on and you want us to do more work on it, we will certainly do so. We were just surprised as you are about the way the bids came back, and that's why we came to you as early as we can.
No, we appreciate it, and this is a good discussion. I'll make a motion to table rather than pull it, and we'll take a slow. Okay. Second, and further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Monica and Andy and Steve. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm open if we can somehow, get that down a little.
Council President, sorry,
Yes.
just while we have the group here on this, I did want to hear a little bit about just why the fence feels like it's the critically important part. I walked around it and definitely, I could imagine it with a fence being helpful.
Well, I think it goes back to the original, correct, Monica? That's where the fence came in.
Yeah, Council President,
Yes,
Yeah.
council member.
years ago, there was a fence that surrounded the whole, and the fence on the east side was removed. For whatever reason, I don't know, that was probably in the '70s?
I think it was in the '70s for snow storage,
All right.
Park for snow storage.
Yes, yeah, you're right, you're right. They used to store the snow there. And they put the fences down at the Knickerbocker shed, which I don't know if you know what that is. It's across from the Nick Arena. It used to be the changing where you change your ice skates back when I was a kid. No, really.
That was
That was a long time ago. But it was great.
I don't think that was.
But they put the wrought iron fence there, and then years later, they went to find it, and it was gone. Now, I don't know, who knows? But initially, like David asked, yes, Powers Park was a replica of Washington Park, with the fences all the way around, not locked though. We let everybody in it. We don't pick and choose. So, but I think that the fences are very important.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing that will bring it back to luster. Again, the stage, I don't understand why. This current stage there is fine.
We don't need.
Again, you guys, that's in the plan with the walkway, and if it has to be that way, that's fine. But seeing the kids play there, now you're gonna you're removing them from that park, which.
Just for the record, there is a large open area in the middle.
Yeah, but they're going to run,
It's deceiving, yeah.
they're gonna run that up with a big circular
Right.
wall.
Yeah.
which is
Basically,
where they can play.
yes, and
Yeah.
the south third of the park would, at least
Yes.
at this point, remain field.
All right, well, anyway.
And we
we'll
do need
continue
to-
the conversation over the next
We'll continue, but I do appreciate the admin working with us on that. All right, so resolution 2 is tabled. We'll go to resolution 3, bond resolution in the city of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of an additional $250K serial bonds to finance the cost of the construction of the Ingleside boat and kayak launches. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Todd.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Cummings, second, Councilmember Kennedy. On the discussion, you just want to fill us in on the additional 250, I believe a lot of in-water work.
It's a lot of in-water work. There was also a lot of more concrete found on the site than we ever anticipated, which not only required additional pounding of hammering of the concrete to remove it, but then it required significant amounts of backfill to replace that. What was that? It was like $70,000 in additional to bring materials in, and the small savings we got from using the concrete elsewhere really didn't even offset that. At the time, we felt we had that it wasn't. Well, it was critical to do. It needed to be done to get to the in-water work. The in-water work, the problem there was we had bathymetric studies of the river, but they really didn't show some certain things like the existence of vehicles, and as we started putting in the sheeting there wasn't enough depth to get them in far enough to make the cofferdams to drain the water. And so now we have a short window, and That's coupled with the additional rainfall and the conditions in the Hudson, which made it real hard to work in the water. And I have Tyler Perry from CD, if you have any.
Tyler Fane.
Tyler Fane from CD Perry, I got that, thank you. If you want to ask him any questions, but basically, we have to be out of the water and done with this by March 1st. We will not get another extension of this grant.
Right.
We've already pushed it and got this to one last final extension about a year ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Councilmember Gully.
So of this 250,000, the reality is you're only looking at right now potential spending of 149,000. Am I right? The other 100 is a contingency for
Yes,
anything that might escalate. So we might not even use the entire 250.
We're hoping it'll be 150,000, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes you can come in on budget.
I see that. We like when you talk to us like this. This is good stuff.
And, timeline, Tyler, you feel comfortable with the timeline and getting in the water at this point?
Yeah, I mean, well, as part of the funds, it was to alleviate the impact of remobilizing in the
Do you
water.
mind coming
So-
up?
Yeah,
Tyler?
absolutely.
Thanks.
Hold on, Mr.
Thanks.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, so part of the funds that were used for this were to remobilize, but we're doing this portion from the land. We had worked with the city, with Andrew, to redesign this, to have some more cost-effective methods. All of the pre-construction soundings, the borings, anything that was done with the bathymetric survey were taken. Like I was telling Andrew, you could do borings every 5 feet on the whole site, but you hit concrete in one spot where you're digging a conduit trench, and then you hit it on another spot. It's really, you're bringing in another excavator to hammer this thing out. So it's kind of unforeseen, and the proper measures were taken as this was a junkyard. The in-water to drive the sheets for the cofferdam, you're familiar with from the canal days. We ended up hitting things below the mud line, which are totally undetectable. Like I've stated before, it's to retrieve these things is something that would cost just as much as the job did. So to go back to the drawing board to try to make this more cost-effective for the city, we had modified the design. It's a more stable design. We're using straight sheets for permanent concrete forms, so we won't be taking those out. That's added protection too with the riprap. And we'll be taking some of the sheets from the stockpile down by the jail there, so we'll be able to clean a little bit of that up too.
Okay,
So it's a
that's
win-win-win all around.
That's good. We like that, Tyler.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Timeline stays the same now?
Well, moving over to the winter time, there's an added cost for ground thaw heaters and, everything with slower production in the winter time, which is to get this done before then. I don't see an issue. We don't have, if you take the proper measures, you're not fighting any water anymore.
Right.
So
Okay.
we don't see an issue.
Councilmember McGrath.
How far, what would you say, how far along is this project?
We're 75%, the rest we have subcontractors. We gotta put some topsoil down, we gotta pave it. You pave the thing with binder in one day, then you top it the next.
That's good.
And then we're pretty close.
All right.
That's nice. Good. Any further discussion? Councilmember Cummings?
Sure. Yeah, I walked around it today. It does look good. Let's see. So just to clarify, what's left is pretty much the ramp actually going down into the water. Is that?
The ramp construction through the winter, yes. So that was the critical piece.
Yeah.
With the unknowns on the in-water work, as it does extend almost to the channel, so you can get your boat out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Sure. Was there no contingency on this project initially?
There was
Very little.
almost no contingency on this. It's a 10-year-old grant. And
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. Not
Okay.
us, but the city as a whole. All right.
Let's see. The only other thoughts that came to my mind walking around it were what the plan is for security. Are there going to be the similar
Lighting.
There's
cameras
lighting
that are
that
down in Riverfront Park?
there's lighting that we're waiting on from National Grid right now, but I think everybody knows how it is dealing with National
I
Grid.
saw the lights, that was good.
We're also working with Redburn on security cameras on their property.
Great.
There's some landscaping as well, trees, and the fencing is up.
Okay. And then the other thing to think about longer term, I think, is traffic on Angles, coming out of the boat launch. It sort of directs people right onto Angles. I could imagine a traffic light being useful there, especially if you're bringing boats out into
Well,
River
there's the
There
entrance-
is.
there's
There's a
two
traffic light in the
entrance and
middle,
an
right?
exit.
Sure.
There's a traffic light at
Yeah,
town. It's
right.
1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, it's looking good.
Does it?
Council member.
Councilman Kennedy?
Who's gonna drop the first boat in?
You know what, it might be CD Perry, actually. We've got another project that's right down the river that you guys might be familiar with, so we've got to put some safety boats in the water too.
Alright, thanks.
Okay. Tyler, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Anything else that we're missing?
If you need me, you can reach me.
And I know Bella Napoli is very happy now.
Very, very
Very,
excited.
very
The
happy.
dogs are
They're
very
very
excited.
excited.
More donuts.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
excited.
haven't got any free donuts yet, but.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot.
Right.
I've kayaked down there. All right, further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Take it away, Tyler. Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right, thank
Take care,
you.
everybody.
Take
On
care.
resolution 3, passes 7-0. I will take a motion to adjourn, and then we can go right into our special meeting, if that works. Motion, Councilmember McGrath, second, everyone, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. We can go right into